10 years ago, a man faced a devastating loss in a stock market crash that would set in motion a series of events none could have foreseen. In his desperation, he wrote a letter to a woman working at a bank who had denied him a loan. Subsequently, he found himself on the edge of a bridge, contemplating a drastic decision. It was on this bridge that a chance encounter with a teenage boy named Jack. Jack, attempting to talk him down from the precipice, engaged in a desperate dialogue. However, the man made the harrowing decision to jump from the bridge, leaving behind a haunting legacy. A week later, in the same vicinity, the woman from the bank, Zara, witnessed a teenage girl named Nadia close to the edge of the same bridge. Nadia intends to jump from the bridge. However, Jack intervened, physically pulling Nadia away from the edge, though his actions rendered her unconscious. These events would intertwine their lives in unimaginable ways. In the present, a woman, soon to become the bank robber, grappled with a personal crisis. Her discovery of her husband's infidelity with her own boss shattered her world. Despite her resolve to avoid turmoil for the sake of her daughter, she was forced to move out, a decision that would plunge her into an abyss of financial instability. Struggling to secure an apartment, she took a drastic step, attempting to rob a bank, armed with a stolen pistol she believed to be a toy. In a cruel twist of fate, she chose a cashless bank to rob, a decision that sent her fleeing into the nearest refuge, the apartment building for sale, which was currently hosting a viewing. Within the apartment, the hostages include a realtor, a young couple named Julia and R.O., an elderly woman named Estelle, a businesswoman named Zara, an older couple, Roger and Annalena, and a man named Leonard. Julia and R.O., a young couple expecting a child, are searching for a new home, but finding the right place within their budget proves to be a considerable challenge. The impending arrival of their child brings with it the natural anxieties and uncertainties associated with parenthood. Roger and Annalena, retirees, specialize in renovating and selling apartments. After years of working and raising a family, they find themselves in a new phase of life where they must grapple with questions of identity and purpose. Estelle, mentioning that her husband is parking their car, is present on behalf of their daughter. However, as more time passes, it becomes clear that her husband isn't coming as he passed away, leaving Estelle with a sense of grief and loneliness. Leonard, an actor, unexpectedly emerges from the bathroom wearing a peculiar rabbit costume. This initial introduction leaves the other hostages bewildered and amused, and it sets the tone for his character throughout the story. Leonard's main problem in the story is that he has become a professional apartment ruiner. He is hired by Annalena to create disturbances and unpleasant scenes during apartment viewings, which ultimately drives down the prices. Zara's primary problem is the overwhelming guilt and self-blame she carries due to the man's suicide. She believed that her refusal to grant the loan directly contributed to his decision to end his life. She keeps his letter not being able to open it. The hostage situation draws the attention of law enforcement. Jack and his father, Jim, both serving as police officers in the same town, found themselves in an unprecedented crisis, unsure of how to proceed. With no prior experience in hostage negotiation, they resorted to consulting Google for guidance. The hostages do not take the bank robber seriously, leading to a somewhat surreal situation like ordering pizza to the apartment. As the hostages spend time together in the apartment, they begin to share their fears, hopes, and regrets. Bonds form among this group of strangers, and preconceptions about each other gradually crumble. The group's collective compassion and empathy lead them to support the bank robber in finding a way out of her predicament. The robber reveals that her life has been upended due to her husband's infidelity with her boss, resulting in homelessness, joblessness, and financial distress. She attempts the bank robbery to secure 1 month's rent to avoid eviction and to resist her husband's demand for sole custody of their children. After some time, the robber lets everyone leave the apartment. Then a gunshot was heard. The police entered the apartment after a gunshot and found blood and no one else around. That was a mystery that they couldn't solve. Or so it was reported. Jack, during his investigation, discovers that the blood in the apartment was fake and pieces together the events that transpired. With many action taken, he realizes what happened in the apartment and that his father Jim helped the bank robber to escape. However, he decides to keep silence. The hostages refuse to abandon their captor. They cooperate with the bank robber, ultimately suggesting that she hides in an adjacent vacant apartment, which belonged to Estelle and her late lover. The story concludes with various characters finding resolutions. Zara opens the letter from the man, which reads, "It wasn't your fault." This revelation offers her closure and allows her to release the guilt. She quits her job, gives away her fortune, and starts a relationship with Leonard. Estelle realizes the need for connection and begins to bond with the other hostages. Her willingness to help the bank robber and her relationships with the other characters signify her shift from isolation to connection. Roger and Annalena, an older couple who renovate and sell apartments, experience a shift in their relationship. Annalena's confession about her yearning for a real home helps Roger understand her desires better. Roger seems willing to change his priorities. He suggests to R.O. and Julia that they should buy the apartment they were viewing. Julia and R.O., a young couple expecting a child, find their ideal home during the hostage situation. The experience helps them embrace the idea of becoming parents and gives them a sense of stability and purpose. The bank robber moves in with Estelle solving the issue with the residence and money. Estelle's willingness to offer shelter and support to the bank robber is an example of the growing empathy and connections formed during the hostage situation. Jack and Nadia, the girl who was saved by Jack 10 years ago, reunite, thanks to Zara, symbolizing the interconnectedness of people's lives and their shared experiences. The novel leaves readers with a poignant reminder that people, whether strangers or acquaintances, are bound by common desires and shared struggles, emphasizing the universality of human experiences. And, as always, if you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like and subscribe for more literary explorations. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy reading!